Hi everyone, welcome to the Pickup Artist Meets the Platinum Girl. I want to talk a little bit about what we both have in common in terms of the similar dating philosophies that we share. In the past couple of weeks, I've highlighted various scenarios, as in, if the pickup artist does this, you're the platinum girl who should do that. Just as a way to keep your it girl vibe going. But this week, I've decided to go a little bit deeper and lay some more groundwork for you all. Some of you might wonder, Vanessa, why are you focusing so heavily on pickup artistry? After all, you even said yourself that a lot of women are complaining that men aren't approaching them. The answer to this is because if you're doing the rules the way that Ellen Fine and Sherry Schneider have mapped it out for you, you're only going to be responding to men who actually approach you. And that is why you need to learn how to handle the man who actually comes up to you and talks to you. The pickup artist begins everything with the approach. So dissecting how a man starts conversations with a woman, asks for her number, and even asks her on dates is going to be a great frame of reference for you in terms of learning the rules. So maybe the knowledge that you gain in these videos isn't going to be knowledge that you're going to use every single day because maybe men aren't approaching you every single day. But when the man that you really like does approach you, you're going to be so glad that you're equipped with this knowledge. You'll really be able to set yourself apart from the rest and be that it girl that I'm always talking about. So the video that I selected for this week is on the How to Pick Up Women channel with no spaces. And the video itself is called Annihilation with Neil Strauss and Mystery. Now, Mystery said something of interest to me, which was that for men, you are either an average frustrated chump or you are in pickup artistry land. And that if you're anywhere in between, you're going to drown. I feel the exact same way about the rules. There is no in between. When you are in between, the chips and the dents where you failed in playing hard to get are going to show themselves in your relationship. Whether it's you're accepting last minute dates that lead to a man who doesn't plan in advance, or something more long term like you're living with him and now he isn't proposing, you can always, without fail, trace back a deficiency in your relationship to not doing the rules. The reason I mention this is because pickup artists are very committed to their craft. You might laugh and say that pickup artistry isn't a craft. I'd have to disagree. Of course it is. Essentially, it's a behavioral method that men are still learning in droves. They even had a show on VH1 back in 2007. The rules women have never had a show. So if anything, I beg to differ that they're more popular than we are. We're outnumbered. Now, I don't mean this in terms of a war sense, as in us versus them. Only that you need to commit to learning the rules as well as the pickup artist. Now, what was also discussed in this video is that the goal isn't to get the woman, because your motivation will be telegraphed and then she's going to see that you think she has more value than you do. This point is incredibly powerful. I hear it all too often. I don't need the rules. I think the rules are ridiculous. I can just get a guy being myself. Okay, then you don't need my videos. You're already getting great results. Congrats. But if you secretly aren't, then try looking at it like this. You're doing the rules to create value for yourself. If you have a hard time about lying to a man about whether you're too busy to accept last minute dates, then be just that busy to accept last minute dates. Fill up your schedule. And of course, this means that you can't have hour-long conversations with the man either. Because again, you're just that busy. In other words, if you're like the pickup artist and you don't focus so much of your attention on the rules in terms of using it to get the guy, you're going to be able to create value for yourself. Then, even unwittingly, men will follow because they're going to be so interested in this independent woman who clearly doesn't need him. Now, the final point that I want to make on this is that when the pickup artist creates value in the woman's eyes, he in turn also becomes the leader, which makes her feel safe with him. How this applies to the platinum girl is that when you aren't a woman who falls all over yourself just because he comes around, you also create value to a man. You are a leader in terms of the women in the pickup artist's eyes who won't go back to his house and sleep with him or have sex in the back of the cab and essentially just do anything that he wants. Men don't like women who don't have value for long-term relationships. Now, in terms of protection, a man doesn't need a woman for safety. Where a man's safety comes in is actually feeling safe with the woman that she's emotionally stable. She won't stalk him. She won't need to be with him every second. She won't need all this attention, and essentially she just won't be crazy. That's safety to a man, knowing that she's stable, that she can have his children, and that they can take a long road trip together without having everything be nutty. Okay, so I'm going to stop here for this week, but most of what I talked about is within the first 15 minutes of the video, so I encourage you to watch it if you want to learn a little bit more. But the takeaway here is that you have to commit to the rules. And if you're still struggling, look at it through the lens of what a pickup artist would do, and bring your A game to the table just like a man would. Okay, so you can keep up with my blog during the week at platinumgirlcelebrityblog.com, or you can book a session with me if you like. And I also hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you really liked it, I hope that you shared it. Bye!